Okay, I'm back, and I'm still on this 1970 Ford Mustang fastback, and it's going to be, let's say, a comfortable amount of videos, which that's what it's all about. I'm going to bring you up to date on the progress. Yesterday, for the good part of the day, I spent time removing the rear clip. Uh-oh. I'm losing parts. I don't know where this part came from. I'm losing parts. But anyway, as you look in there, you can see that whole section has been removed. It's the rear quarter section of the unibody. I took it out that way because it'd be easier for me to remove the bad stuff. All that right there, all the bad stuff. Because the unibody is solid, like brand new still. And I will be sandblasting the whole thing all the way around. Not any of this silliness up here, but the actual unibody itself, the mid support, and anything else that has to do with the unibody. Because once it's cleaned up, it's going to look like brand new, and it is original sheet metal from 1970, which I believe is actually a little bit better than the Taiwan stuff, because that's where a lot of the parts, I think, could be wrong, are being made in Taiwan. But that's fine, you know, they got the machines stamping it out. And today I'm going to hopefully get this front clip removed and do the same thing. Some areas I've taken a torch to make it easier for me to get hopefully be able to get this front clip undone. And down there, let's see, right in there, you could see I torched away because I need that plate. If I don't have one, at least I'll need that. And I'm really excited the fact that this is a solid structure. I really am, because it's a lot to figure, measure, double measure, triple measure, all the important parts that are very essential to installing new stuff. And here I got these new rails here, and I won't be using them because the gauge on this is a little thinner than the factory, and there's a lot more that would have to go onto there. And I'll just sell those because they are brand new, as you can tell. They're not rotted, they're brand new sheet metal, along with the rest of the car. So I believe and I hope that I got this side disconnected. You know, I do have supports ready to catch it underneath there, the two jack stands and the jack, and they're a little bit lower than the unit itself, so I'll be able to see and tell if it drops. And some of which I've been removing, I've been cutting from the inside of the car here to make it a little bit easier and safer, because I'm not getting underneath it. No need to be doing that. So I'm going to finish getting at this right through here, and hopefully removing as much as I can down below there where the inner and outer rockers are. All this up here has already been, I've already been cutting it, and I'm glad I got upper cowls because it definitely needed it. And the other reason why I wanted to do it this way is because if you drill out all the factory spot welds, then you're going to have a hole. And granted, you go in and when you attach it, you'd re-weld it, but you'd have to weld it either with most likely a MIG welder, and then you got to grind it smooth, and it doesn't look factory-like. And I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to make it look as factory as possible, because I can drill it from the old sheet metal side, from the opposite side, to remove it without affecting any of the components that I need, because I have a I'm certain that it's lasted since 1970, so there shouldn't be a problem with it lasting even that much longer. You know, and even though there's a little bit of flashing going on there, but all that's going to be cleaned up again when I get in there and sandblast, and when this thing is out and I put it up on its face, because I'll be replacing the front radiator support. I'll be replacing that, like I've mentioned before. The new one is sitting over there on that pile. So that so far is the plan. So what I'm going to do is, and I want to bore you with all the things that are the method of taking it, of using the torches or the sawzall or a chisel and a hammer. It's boring. So I'm going to put you on standby, and once I actually have the clip removed, hopefully removed, and I will chime back in and film some more. So in the meantime, stand by. Okay, I'm back, and finally I got to drop the clip. Uh-oh. I got upside down. Tighten that up. Holy cow. Well, as you can see, the clip, complete clip, is on the ground, and the car is doing a wheelie. It's about the further, that is about the only way that car is going to do a wheelie. That's right. So now the task is to get this out of the way, not junking it just yet, just in case. And then the next thing is to strip all the sheet metal off that is not needed, from the firewall parts to the floor pan part. Strip the end supports there, because I got brand new ones, and including the transmission tunnel supports. Got a brand new one. Actually, let me show you. I will be taking them off. There they are together, side by side. There is the transmission part, actually also with the transmission brace. And here's the two that are bound together with a band to replace those sections that go underneath the front floor pan. Yeah, I'm going to clean up all the garbage on the floor first, get stuff out of the way, and then move my trunk section out of the way. And because I got to strip that too, I got to take that whole trunk pan off, because the brand new one is sitting in the box right there, that one. And that box up there is for the support going across where the shocks get mounted. So all that stuff's got to be stripped off, but I got to get it out of the way and figure out how am I going to get this down safely. I'm believing I will be using my favorite tool right there. That's right, right there. And make that happen and put it out of the way somewhere. And then I'll have the room to do what needs to be done. Yeah, the next parts are going to be fun. So when it comes to using that, I'm going to film it. But in the meantime, let me get the mess cleaned up as far as the floor stuff. And until then, stand by until I start hooking up. Okay, it's the next day. And I made some changes back here because first thing in the morning, the sun's just blaring down in here. And I was doing pretty much everything over where the machine is. So I finally woke up and realized that, well, I got shade because this big tree shades over here alongside the stupid car. Yeah, the buggy. But I moved everything, and then, you know, it's not so brutal because, you know, it is hot here in Florida. And the sun doesn't make it any nicer. It's pretty, you know, and I do like the sun, but I don't like to roast in it. So everything's moved over here. I got the left side, which would be driver's side. All the extra sheet metal, there's a lot more that came off. It's over there. And once I have this side all cleaned up, Then I'm going to remove these rails here, right here. Remove that and that, get that out of the way. And then start putting the new stuff on. And once the new stuff is in place, then I'll be able to put it over there. Where am I? Right there on the jig. And when that's, I might put it on there, strap it down, but then I have to start working on the rear quarter section, the unibody on that, and remove this section here, right there, all this silliness right here, remove all that to the torque boxes, get all that cleaned up. And once everything is all cleaned up, sandblasted and primed, along with that'll be sandblasted and primed too before I put it on the jig. And once they're all done and ready, then I'll be able to start assembling the car. So I'm going to get back with it. I want to get this mess here off, because obviously it's not needed. And then remove that. So once I have that off, and I have this cross piece and the two support rails that go underneath the floor pans removed, I will chime back in. So stand by. It came out exactly the way I expected it to. I don't think it could have came out any better. Alrighty, I'm back, and it is Friday. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I got the front supports, the whatever you want to call them, as far as part of the unibody, all welded up. The cross member for the transmission, everything measured out really well. And to verify that, I'm not trying to put it on the actual jig, but I am lining things up to see if the points of interest line up right on the nose, and they do. So here is a view. Let's see, let me get down in here. Okay, you can see the new unibody, the cross member for the transmission, the support, the floor, for the floor pan as well. You can see everything is welded in place. And one little side note, I went and counted how many spot welds were on each of the cradle, and it measures out to 14 on both sides. So I made sure I did the same exact thing, all 14, and everywhere else that it needed to be, I put it there. So on this jig, it's not a homemade one. It's definitely the professional made from whatever factory for these things. And here is a metal dowel pin. There's one on either side, and there's the hole that are made from the factory, and it's the same spacing over there, the width, the hole, everything center lines up. I'm not trying to put it in place because I have to take it off. Excuse me. So I can finish sandblasting and doing what needs to be done. And right here, knowing that this whole unit would have to go back, which would be south of the way it sits, this would definitely line up with the bridge here. And there's two attachments that go on here that's made for this, in case you're starting off brand new, this section of the unibody, which I have them, and they are for sale. I just got to figure out how much. And even the hole will line up here with that hole, the bolt for the bracket for the front bumper. Everything is lining up beautifully. I'm really pleased with how everything is turning out, and this thing is going to look like brand new when I'm finished. Yep, and having all these new structural pieces in place is definitely going to set it off. And I just have to do the same thing with the rear unibody clip, and I'll be starting on that next. And I believe Monday I should be starting on the rear section of this. So there's actually a firewall, and what I'm going to do is, before I take this out of here, I'm going to place that in there and just see how you know, it looks and sets up. So, because when I removed the old firewall, you know, I did it very carefully to keep the main structure and the welding points all intact. So that's the scoop. Yep. What I'm going to do is, because I've done, I'm putting together a few of the videos showing the process along the way. So I think I'm going to end this video here, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time wasting people's time seeing certain things. I do appreciate when they're watching, any subscribers, and if you end up watching the whole thing, then that's great. And if you give me a thumbs up, that's even awesome too. I'm hoping that if there's any questions, that I get to see them and I can answer them, and maybe it'll help somebody and what's going on and how to get certain things done. So until then, I do appreciate, like again, people watching, and if you wouldn't mind subscribing, great again. And until the next video, have a great day.